I never thought I would say this, but it looks like Blizzard is actually going to be doing some really crazy changes for Mythic Plus. Point being, they're actually getting rid of Sanguine, Bolstering, Raging, and Bursting. Those are no longer things we're going to have to deal with. But that is just one part of the story. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about all of the new changes that are going to be coming to Mythic Plus, and why I think you guys should be getting really excited for this next season. So a ton of things have changed with Mythic Plus over the course of probably the last couple of weeks, and it's kind of crazy. So just to kind of get you guys all up to speed, basically Blizzard introduced 4 new affixes to the game through the beta a few weeks ago. So the 4 that they introduced was Reckless, Focused, Attuned, and Thorned. And all of these were really weird. So basically the idea was Blizzard was trying to go with a Kiss Curse style of affix. So you had, the cursed version, which was obviously the negative affix, but then there was going to be like a positive thing tied to this. And each of these different affixes, or these new ones, had a different type of buff. So for example, Reckless was going to be getting buffs to physical and arcane damage, Thorned, holy and shadow damage, Attuned, nature and bleed damage, and Focused, frost and fire damage. And there's people already making spreadsheets to basically optimize every single week, depending on which one of these affixes was going to be live. So it's like, for example, Reckless week, the tanks you'd want to bring would be like a Death Knight, Vengeance, Demon Hunter, things like that. And obviously, Frost, Unholy DKs. And people were just already trying to spreadsheet the shit out of this stuff. And of course, it didn't help that these affixes just seemed really stupid and convoluted, and people didn't like them. So Blizzard threw them out. And to replace this, they have basically just put out a really big kind of blog post going over the new changes coming to the War Within. So the first thing that they said is that they're removing Sanguine, Bolstering, Raging, and Bursting. And if you guys have been keeping tally as to all the different affixes that they've been removing from the game, this means that all the affixes are gone except for Fortified and Tyrannical. Yes, those are currently the only 2 affixes that are still in the game, aside from these brand new ones that we're going to talk about. So these new affixes that are going to be coming to the game are actually themed around Xal'atath. So the way that this is going to work is that starting at Keystone level +2, Xal'atath herself will manifest in the dungeons, introducing a rotation of different types of affixes under the banner of Xal'atath's Bargain. Now, these affixes not only seek to empower the dungeon's denizens, but also grant players the opportunity to harness these effects. So this basically means that these affixes are going to basically cause problems, but there's also going to be opportunities for us to interact with them to get some buffs. So for example, one of these affixes is called Xal'atath's Bargain Ascendant, and this one states, while in combat, Xal'atath rains down orbs of cosmic energy that attempt to empower nearby enemies, increasing their haste and movement speed. Now, if a player decides to disrupt these orbs, they will actually gain the effect for themselves. Another affix is called Xal'atath's Bargain Frenzied, and it says non-boss enemies become frenzied at 30% health remaining, increasing their haste by 40%, but they also take increased damage by 20%. And then once we get to Keystone levels +7 and above, a new affix is going to be potentially popping up, and this one is called Challenger's Peril. So this one says, dying subtracts 15 seconds from the remaining timer instead of 5 seconds. So this is going to be one where basically, if you guys are dying a lot, you're probably not going to time that key. And then the next and final one that you guys will see popping up at +12s or above, this one's called Xal'atath's Guile, and it says, Xal'atath betrays players, revoking her bargains and increasing the health and damage of enemies by 20%. Now, I gotta say first and foremost, I actually really like these affixes. The fact that players can actually interact with these, especially the Ascendant one, actually makes me kind of excited. I really like the fact that, we're finally getting some kind of affixes that have positive and negatives to them. I've been saying forever now that I think they really needed to start adding positive and negative affixes to Mythic Plus, because I think just dealing with negative affixes is just really not fun. And I feel like if we had a pool of positive affixes to look forward to, I think would make the whole Mythic Plus experience a lot more fun. So as mentioned, we still have Fortified and Tyrannical, and they are making some adjustments with how they play in this new season, so let's talk about this now. So they said in the blog post that Fortified and Tyrannical now serve as milestone affixes that alternate between Keystone levels 4 and 10 on a weekly rotation. So to give you guys a better example of how this is going to play out or look, they gave us this example. So they said Keystone levels 2 through 11 will have the following affixes. +2 Xalatath Bargain affixes appear on a weekly rotation. +4 Fortified and Tyrannical is active, alternating on a weekly rotation. +7 Challenger's Peril is active on all Keystones. And then +10 Tyrannical or Fortified is active, alternating on, again, a weekly rotation. And then for Keystone level +12 and up, they're going to have the following affixes. You've got Fortified, Challenger's Peril, Tyrannical, and then Xalatath's Guide that replaces the weekly Xalatath's Bargain affix. So overall, looking at this new system, I think this is actually a really good step in the right direction. I thought those affixes that they came out with a few weeks ago were actually just terrible, and I was not looking forward to them because, like I said, in my opinion, I thought it was just basically going to promote really degenerate gameplay, and, you know, people were going to be looking for specific classes to invite for certain weeks because they'd get like a 5% damage increase or whatever. So I'm glad that they're tossing that out. I do think at some point Blizzard really needs to just take a step back and devote a ton of resources and effort into Mythic Plus. I think Mythic Plus needs the kind of attention that we would get for a brand new expansion-wide feature. I think they need to put that much effort into, I don't know, just kind of like recreating Mythic Plus from the ground up and just really nailing that gameplay loop down and just making it as good as they possibly can, because right now it looks like they're just kind of trying to do a bunch of like spot treatments and try to like do little adjustments here and there. And again, like I said, these new affixes I think are a really good step in the right direction. But again, I think they need to just put a bunch of effort and time into this whole system and just completely restart from the ground up. So that's what we're going to call it for today. If you guys could do me a huge favor, and if you enjoyed this video or you just found it entertaining, please let me know by subscribing to my channel and leaving a like on this video. And also, I would love to hear from you guys. If there was a type of affix or a mechanic that you would like to see them add into Mythic Plus, sound off in the comments and let me know. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm still Solo, and I'll see you guys in the next one.